Hello everybody, my name is Monica Smith and I'm one of the therapists at Worcestershire. Today our tip and our theme for this week has been all about fluency, how to support your child who stammers. And some of you might have been asked by your therapist to do some special time with your children. So we've produced a really nice resource, we think, that will help explain it to you properly and also give you a chance to record and perhaps reflect on it a little bit at the end. So here it is. And if you click on the link, you can download it, and it's in the photographs that are going to be on Facebook as well, so you can have a look at that on there. But I thought it'd be really nice to go through it with you, just to see how you can support your child with their fluency and create that environment where they have some control of the conversation and feel relaxed about their talking. Because what we know is that if you're somebody who is disfluent, the more opportunities you have to be fluent, the more fluent you're going to be. And the more relaxed you feel about your talking, the more relaxed you're going to be. But telling someone to relax about their talking is never a good idea. So creating that environment is the best thing that we can do. And this is where special time comes in. So one of the first tips is to just keep it for 5 minutes. And I know that times are busy, even during this silly lockdown situation that we're in at the moment. We've still got lots of demands on us, we've got other children to sort out. But if you can find 5 minutes in the day for your child and be very explicit with your child about how long the time is going to be, that would be really good. We're not expecting it to be too difficult for you to do. Once you've decided that it's going to be 5 minutes, then you've got to think about what activity you're going to do. And that's the child's job. The child gets the chance to actually choose that activity and be in charge of it. But there are, within the perimeters of certain activities that we think are good for special time. The sort of activities that aren't good for special time are things like screens, busy outside games of football, that sort of thing, or even books, believe it or not. I'm not telling you not to read to your child. For special time, it's just not the great thing to do. Instead, things like crafts, things like Lego, cooking, activities that there's a sort of a joint process, something that they can explain to you, something they can be in charge of and actually give you the instructions to do so that you're their helper this time and they're in charge of it. They are going to love it. For you, what I'd like you to do is slow your rate down when you're talking to your child. Really be aware of that. We know that when children speak at a slower rate, they are more likely to be fluent. But we also know that being told to slow down does not help. It actually makes you more anxious about your talking. And the best way for your child to realise that is for you to model a slower rate of talking. Because when we talk in conversations, we tend to match each other for rate. So if you're slower, they'll be slower, and it'll make it easier for everybody. I'd like you also to really think about how many questions you ask during the play. Are you asking them lots of questions about what's happening next, what's going to be going forward, what do I do this for, what does this look like, what is this called? Forget that. No questions. Try and reduce the questions as much as possible. Instead, I'd like you to make lots of comments. Oh, this is great. Oh, I like what you did there. Oh, look how high it is now. Oh, maybe we could do this with it next. You can make a few suggestions, but remember, the child is in charge of the play. They are leading the play. That's why it's called special time. And give feedback about what they've said rather than how they've said it. So thinking about at the end of the session, you can say to them, give them a nice compliment of, I really enjoyed being with you today. I loved how we had time to chat. It was good, wasn't it? Something as simple as that, something very throwaway, is really reinforcing for that child because they'll realise that you enjoyed that experience with them as well, and it's something they'll look forward to. Put your phone away. No distractions for you, I'm afraid. A time to ditch the technology and just be engaged in what your child's doing and listening to them and following what they want you to do. And again, letting them lead the play. They are in charge. And so the other thing that we've made for you is a little tracker form. So when you are deciding on your dates of what you're going to do and how you're going to do it, you can actually fill it in at the end, and you can reflect on what you did and how it went. And thinking about not just about their fluency and the times they were disfluent, I want you to think about the times that they weren't disfluent, when they were fluent. Think about what you were doing at the time, how they were feeling, had they slept really well the night before, were they doing an activity that they were really interested in. Try and see if you can find out there's a pattern there, something that really makes an impact on their fluency. And then when we find that out, we can try and introduce that a little bit more, give them chances to have more opportunities to be fluent and feel really much more confident about their talking, because that's what it's about. And the most important thing is to be honest. Be really honest. If something didn't go well, talk to them about it and think about what we can do next time to make it better. But also be honest with yourself. Perhaps maybe were you a little bit too leading in the conversation? Who did the most of the talking during that interaction? Was it me or was it my child? But the most important thing, as always, is to have fun with it. because the more fun it is for your child and for you, the more likely it is you're going to do it again, and you might be able to incorporate it a lot into your daily life. My last thing I'm going to say to you as well is that if you have other children, it's really important that you include them, that they have perhaps their own special time as well, that it's not just seen as something for this one specific child because they have a stammer. It's really important that we're equal and that other children don't get their noses pushed out of joint too much about it, and it's not seen as a special thing just for that other child. Share it out. 5 minutes for each of them wouldn't be too bad and not too difficult to do. And maybe if there were 2 parents, you could split it up between the 2 of you. Okay? So have a go. Let us know what you think, and we'll see you soon.